Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom.
I'm not sure. Is my microphone on? I can't tell. Okay, great. All right. It is wonderful to see all of you here on the Shabbat, and as we gather in the gentle embrace of Shabbat, we step into a sacred rhythm of time, a dance of stillness and light. Here we find a sanctuary from the week's rush, a haven where our souls can breathe and where our souls can just be. We discover the beauty of rest, a divine gift that we renew, that each of us renew each and every week with our own spirit. It's a time to pause, to reflect, to refresh, and to consider what truly matters. Together in the sacred space, we're not just individuals, but a community that is united by the blessings of renewal and rejuvenation. And we can cherish these moments, the joy of togetherness, the comfort of sharedness, the comfort of shared silence even, the warmth of our music, and the embrace of friendship. So we're going to do that by of course, saying Shabbat Shalom and welcoming one another here. Now, it's interesting because this evening we are joined by the executive directors and leaders and administrators from the National Association for Temple Administrators, and I know that they are comfortable just hanging out in the background, right? Just making sure that everything is just going perfectly well, right? And somehow they sat in the very back. Just to people in our congregation, we have leaders here who are here for a national conference that is actually beginning tomorrow evening. There will be hundreds of temple administrators to talk about all sorts of things that are happening within our synagogue world. And so we are thankful to you for not only being here with us on Shabbat, but thankful to you for making Jewish life happen in North America. Thank you for being here. We really appreciate it. And we're going to welcome one another. So, first we're going to welcome the people who are streaming at home and in hospital rooms and around the world. There are some cameras right in the back. We'll turn around, we'll say Shabbat Shalom and welcome you. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
That was great practice for turning to the north, the south, the east, and the west in every single direction and saying Shabbat Shalom. And it is okay in our congregation to stand up and to actually welcome one another into this space. May this Shabbat be a balm to our spirits. May this Shabbat be a gentle reminder of life's deeper rhythms. As we pray and sing and reflect, let's embrace the peace and the holiness that Shabbat offers. Ma yafeh hayom, how beautiful is this Shabbat day.
Ma yafeh hayom, Shabbat Shalom. Yafeh hayom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom. Yafeh hayom, Shabbat Shalom, Ma yafeh hayom, Shabbat Shalom. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malchei HaMalachim,
Tomorrow morning, Charles Kutzak is coming to this bima to become a bar mitzvah in our congregation. And I want to invite you to bring your family up for lighting Shabbat candles and for blessing Shabbat and sanctifying Shabbat with the Kiddush. Come on up. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehaliknei shel Shabbat. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam porei pori hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'rata banu v'shabbat kodesho be'ava u'ratzon ichilanu zikara lema'aseh v'riyeshit kehu yom techila lemikrai kodesh zeher letziyat mitzrayim kivanu varata ve'otanu kithashta mikomim v'shabbat kodeshecha be'ava u'ratzon nichaltanu baruch atah Adonai mekadesh hashem. Amen. L'chaim. It's the sweet stuff. Charles, a big mazel tov in advance. We are all excited for your leading us in services tomorrow morning, for the teachings that you are going to teach us about our awesome Torah portion, which I think that you found particularly meaningful, and for just the ways in which you contribute to our community. One of the things that is just really beautiful about you and your family are just the ways that that you step up and live your Judaism proudly and courageously, and with a sense of a beautiful sense of self. And it is a wonderful thing to see you become bar mitzvah in our congregation tomorrow. So, and you're already taller than both your parents. We're not going to talk about that. We won't say anything more about that. But it's a beautiful thing. So mazel tov in advance, and thank you so much for being here tonight.
Thank you.
For those in our congregation, I'm assuming perhaps you have seen or may see this week the email that I sent earlier today to the congregation. It has been a challenging week. It has just been a challenging week. And it has been there has been darkness over the past many, many weeks, right? And as we prepare for Hanukkah, we recognize that even with all the challenges that we have, even with the darkness that exists, there is still potential for light to be within our world. There's still the potential to have a moral imagination, to bring forward light through our actions, through our deeds, through the ways in which we live our lives. So even amidst darkness, we wanted to elevate joy. We want to elevate light, whether it's the light of the Shabbat candles or the light that exists within the lives of one another. And so on this Shabbat, what we want to do is just to elevate some of the beautiful things that are happening in our own lives. It could be the small things. It could be, you made it you exercise every day this week. I don't know, right? Whatever it is, a small thing that is really lovely, that's wonderful about your lives. I will say, just add, I don't usually like to talk about my kids, but one thing is that our kiddo is attending his first middle school dance, and it felt like a very big Shehechianu moment. It felt like a big Shehechianu moment, right? So to be able, in anticipation of that moment, but sort of the growth of mind and body and soul. But I'm just wondering what other kind of small wins, big things happening in your lives that are just worth elevating and bringing joy and light into a darkened world. I'm sorry. I think I heard it. It was the Georgia Bulldogs pulled it out? Oh, 12-0. Sorry. Georgia Bulldogs are 12-0. Sometimes fighting words in the sanctuary, but great. That sounds awesome. Thank you. For clearly something that you had a big hand in also. Absolutely. Okay. Just want to make sure. That's huge, huge. Yeah, Beth. There we go. All right. So football aside, the big things that have been happening in your lives that are just worth elevating and just wonderful and beautiful. Yeah. Your granddaughter turned 1. Mazel tov. Yeah. Your grandparents came, and are they with you right now? Yeah. And since I think I have an idea of this, can you say where your grandparents came from? They're from Germany. They came here from Germany. It is so glad to have. We're so glad to have you here. Welcome to our congregation, to our community, and I'm sure that you're going to get all of the snuggles possible, which is a beautiful thing. They're leaving on Sunday. Okay, so get all the snuggles that you possibly can. We are so glad to have you here. Other beautiful things. Yes. Your wife is recovering from a stroke. That's a beautiful. Thank you. Very, very glad for that, and glad to see you here. Really, really glad to see you here. Yes. Your youngest grandson is turning 7 in 2 weeks. That's awesome. Did you know that when I was your age, I was 8? It's true. A lot of people don't know that. All right. Yes. Your mom got a new job. Oh, right. Mazel tov. Mom. This is not public information yet. Okay. Shh. That was not streamed. Sure. For sure, not. Okay. Yes. Did I hear you learned how to ride a bike? And your birthday's in 2 weeks? Happy birthday to yourself for learning how to ride a bike. That's awesome. What a wonderful thing. That's great. Yes, I'm sorry. Was there something else? Yes. Your birthday's also in December. Did you say December 1st? 26th. Oh, okay. Excuse me. Happy birthday in advance. All right. Yes. To be able to have a reunion of friends, her friends, but also to have that as parents too. That's a beautiful thing. All right, yeah, a few more. Yes. Yay for math tests. Way to go. Yes. You're learning Yiddish. Way to go. You're going to need to teach me because the words I know, I'm not allowed to say publicly. All right? Okay, and Mary, I know this is a good one. Mary, go for it. She completed her conversion this morning. Welcome to our people on your first Shabbat. And we are so thrilled to complete your conversion and to have you in the mikvah today. It was a beautiful thing. So, for all of these wonderful things, right, for birthdays that are up and coming. Oh, I'm sorry, one more. Where is one more? Oh, yes. Savannah's starting her doctorate in physical therapy in January. Awesome. You look like you're blushing just a little, Savannah. All right. So, for all of these wonderful things, for coming into the fold of our people, for starting graduate programs or getting great grades on your math tests, for birthdays and celebrations, for the snuggles and the visits of grandparents from near and far, for all of these things that bring light to our world, we give thanks to God, not only for our lives, but for sustaining our lives to reach these joyous occasions. With the words of Shehechia.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehecheyanu v'kimanu v'higiyanu lazman hazeh.
All of that brightness, all of the joy and the love that is in this room, we sing out for a new day and a new day of Shabbat.
Shabbat lechu v'nelcha ki mekor habracha mirosh mikedem nesucha sof ma'aseh b'machshavat tchila lecha dodi likrat chala Shabbat lekabela lecha dodi likrat chala Ele Shabbat lekabela Hitoreri Kiva orei Umi ori Shir daberi Kevod Adonai alayich nigla Lecha dodi likrat chala Elei Shabbat lekabela Lecha dodi likrat chala Elei Shabbat lekabela Oy v'shalom atet mala Gam b'simcha uv'tzola Tochem bonei am segula Oy chala Lecha dodi likrat chala Elei Shabbat lekabela Lecha dodi likrat chala Elei Shabbat lekabela Am I prepared? Are you listening to my prayer? Can you hear my voice? Can you understand? Am I awake? Am I prepared? Arechu et Adonai Baruch Adonai Le'olam va'ed Yalalai Yalalai
Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Your wisdom sets the way on which time and seasons glide. Your breath guides the sail of the stars, creator of tide and time and light. You guide the current of day into night as heaven spans to infinity. You set its course towards eternity. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Baruch atah Adonai, hama'ari aravi.
Ahavat olam אלוהיך לעולם ועד, כי הם חיינו לאורך ימינו, ובהם נגה יומם ולילה, נגה יומם ולילה. ואהבתך אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים. ברוך אתה אדוני, אוהב עמו ישראל. שמע ישראל, אדוני אלוהינו, אדוני אחד. ברוך שם כבוד מלכותו לעולם ועד. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
As we prepare to sing Michamocha, our song of liberation, our hearts carry the weight of the recent darkness in the world and in Israel. In the shadows of the conflict, there has been the captivity of so many people, and a surprising ceasefire emerged, lasting just a week, a fleeting moment of peace in this war. The pause, at least for me, casts light on that eternal hope of freedom. It's a stark reminder of those still yearning for liberation for their loved ones on this Shabbat as a ceasefire collapsed, of hopes that are held in the balance. Michamocha is not just a prayer. It's a prayer that has been a beacon of hope, a call to awaken our inner strength. And as we sing these ancient words, let them stir in our hearts a power to transform our fear into love, to feel the divine support in our midst, to find courage in our unity, just as our ancient ancestors did as they crossed.
Nora פדה אדוני את יעקב, וגאלו מיד חזק ממנו. ברוך אתה אדוני, גאל ישראל.
Let there be peace and love and understanding amongst us, and let our friendship be a shelter from life's storms.
Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu leshalom, Behamidenu shomreinu lechayim. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu leshalom, Behamidenu shomreinu lechayim. Ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha, Ushmor tzitenu uvoenu. Ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha, Ushmor tzitenu uvoenu. Hashivenu Adonai, Eloheinu leshalom, Behamidenu shomreinu lechayim. Hashivenu Adonai, Eloheinu leshalom, Behamidenu shomreinu lechayim. Baruch atah Adonai, haporei sukat shalom, aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael, ve'al Yerushalayim. השמיים ואת הארץ ושמעו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, וביום השביעי שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, ושמעו בני ישראל
In a moment, we're going to rise for the Amidah, and we're going to sing the opening words, Adonai Sifatai Tiftach. We're going to sing them together, and then we're going to continue in silence. And this is an opportunity to use the prayers that are on the pages, beginning on page 164, and the embrace of silence. Because we discover in this space that we give for ourselves the prayers of our hearts. Beyond words, there are silent prayers that reflect the deepest hopes, the deepest aspirations, the deepest fears that we have. And we take a moment on this Shabbat to let them resonate with the core of our being. It's not about the absence of music or the absence of words. It's about a presence in this sanctuary of our own most intimate spiritual conversation. And so we rise now for the Amidah, which will begin together and then continue in silence.
La
For many of us, our silent prayers might have included thoughts about Israel, but now together we gather our collective strength as we send out our prayers and hopes for the land of Israel. And I invite you to join me together in this prayer for the state of Israel. It is hopefully the next slide. There we go. We gather together in faith and with hope to pray for peace and for the safety of the people of Israel. Help us, O Holy One, and protect us in our hour of need. Touch our hearts, lest they harden with despair. Guide our thoughts, lest they are overcome with fear. Bring healing to the wounded, strength to those in mourning, courage to those in fear, wisdom to those who lead. Yedid Nefesh, beloved one, reveal yourself and fill the world with your light. Spread over us the shelter of your peace. Be quick, God of love, for the time has come. Have mercy, eternal one of peace. We think of all of those in Israel who are in need of healing of both the body and of the mind. We also think of those in our community, and you'll see on the screen behind me the names of those in our community whom we know to be in need of healing, whether it's healing of the body or healing of the mind. We invite you also to share out loud the names of anyone you are thinking about this evening who is in need of healing. We ask God to grant all of those we have named aloud and those we've named in our hearts. May they find healing and peace and feel our love.
Of strength.
scariest monsters are the ones that lurk within our soul, Edgar Allan Poe once opined. As human beings, the worst monsters are often not the external ones, but the our own guilt, regret, shame, negative self-talk, and tendency to dress rehearse tragedy. The scariest monsters in horror movies are the ones that we cannot see, because our imaginations do a better job of scaring the pants off us than any CGI monster ever could. Comedian Nathan Fielder attempts to shine a light on those monsters in his docu-comedy series, The Rehearsal. In his show, Fielder for difficult conversations by literally rehearsing it with them. He spares no detail, uses all of the magic of Hollywood to build sets to completely replicate where the meeting will take place, and hiring actors to provide a variety of possible reactions. They practice over and over and over again. By rehearsing in such a realistic manner, the participants extract the monster from their mind, open the closet door, peek under the bed, turn on the flashlight, and confront the monster head on. And in nearly every episode, the participant realizes the monster is less Frankenstein's monster and more Cookie Monster. It is in this anxious space that we encounter Jacob in our week's Torah portion. On the banks of the Yabok River, he prepares to cross over and encounter his brother Esau, who he will be seeing for the very first time since they had a little bit of a falling out. He had stolen his father's innermost blessing and literally had to flee for his life. So needless to say, Jacob is worried, real worried, and understandably so. So he takes some precautions. He sends gifts to his brother in advance of their meeting. He divides his camp into two just in case Esau attacks one half, maybe the other half could escape unscathed. He sends his wives and children ahead of him, hoping it will soften Esau's disposition. It is in this moment of anticipatory fear, as Jacob lays awake anxious about his upcoming reunion, that he famously wrestles with an angel until dawn. In this divine WWE SmackDown, the fighting gets so intense that the angel wrenches Jacob's hip out of its socket. And Jacob demands to be blessed by the angel, who renames him Yisrael, meaning one who wrestles with God, later becoming the namesake of our people. To commemorate the sacred encounter, Jacob names the location Peniel, meaning I have seen a divine being face to face, yet my life has been preserved. It's such a relatable scene. I think we've all been there late at night, imagining something that's going to happen tomorrow, our anxiety keeping our eyes open. For Jacob, his image of his brother becomes more and more monster-like in his mind. And some commentators argue that Jacob wrestles not with a divine being, but with himself, with his own guilt, fear, and insecurity that has transformed his brother into a monster of his own machinations. This internal struggle is his rehearsal, if you will, as he struggles to extract the monster from his own mind. Jacob stands on the banks of the river, creating scenes of his brother's violent retribution in his mind, terrified of what might happen, summoning the courage within himself to cross the river and confront that scary monster. But Just like the participants on the rehearsal, Jacob finds that the scariest thing was his own imagination. When they finally see each other face to face, Esau does not attack him. He does not yell or scream. Instead, he runs to embrace Jacob, wraps his big, hairy arms around his little brother, weeps and cries and kisses him, overcome with that sense of joy of being reunited with his estranged family, the past well in the rearview mirror. To see your face is like seeing the face of God, Jacob says, using almost the same language that he does to describe his encounter with the angel. The view into Jacob's psyche here reflects something we know well, that the human mind plays tricks on us. We imagine the worst possible outcomes and often assume the worst of others. We fabricate in our minds the incisive questions a colleague will ask after a big presentation, leaving us fumbling for an answer, or the look of disappointment on a parent's face when we tell them we plan to move away or change careers, or a friend's furious reaction to a difficult conversation about a behavior that's been bothering us. But, just like on the rehearsal and just like Jacob, often when we actually get to that moment, when we look into the face of the other, we don't find anger or hatred or a monster. We find kindness, compassion, understanding. We find the face of God. But it takes a lot of courage to overcome those monsters, to push past those fears and engage directly, to cross the river and march towards what scares us the most. As a Jewish community, we are in a moment of anxiety, fear, and anger. And sometimes I worry that social media has deceived us into thinking we are encountering the other face to face when we take to the comments section. But when we do that, we're not crossing the river. Rather, we are standing on the banks, screaming into the void, enabling the monsters of our imagination to grow in stature and fury, engendering more fear and ultimately hatred of the other. Last summer, through the Federation's Outshine Hate program, a group of professionals on Shalom Park participated in a training by an organization called Project Shema. Project Shema trains and supports the Jewish community and allies to understand and address contemporary anti-Semitism with an emphasis on how anti-Jewish ideas can emerge in discourse around Israel and Palestine. Their approach centers on slowing the ripple of anti-Semitism through relational, one-on-one conversations about personal experience, designed to nurture empathy on all sides. I'm grateful I had the training, and it is unfortunate that over the past couple of months, it has come in handy. Project Shema has inspired me not to respond to problematic or hurtful language online in comments or Facebook messages, but to reach out to the individual behind the computer screen, to sit down and have a conversation. For example, shortly after October 7th, when a local reproductive rights organization reposted harmful rhetoric about Israel, our initial reaction was to take to the internet, to angrily respond in the comments, to write an eviscerating op-ed, to assume that the organization had anti-Semitic intentions. But when we took a step back and recalled to mind our Project Shema training, we chose instead to reach out to our contact there and have a conversation. We quickly found that the individuals who were responsible for the repost were unaware of the anti-Semitic language embedded within it. They were deeply regretful for any harm they caused and took steps to rectify the situation. Now, I want to be clear. I do not think that we can solve anti-Semitism or end online disinformation or misinformation through dialogue alone. And Project Shema is clear about this too. In fact, there are some conversations that are not going to be healthy or productive for anyone, specifically with individuals who condone the October 7th attacks or other acts of violence. Dialogue is not a silver bullet, but a means of slowing the ripple of anti-Semitism, and I think more importantly, is a means of reminding us that the person on the other side of that infuriating and inflammatory Instagram story is most likely not a heartless monster, but a person. It is at its core relationship building. As one Project Shema coach advised us, the goal of the conversation is not to change someone's view of the conflict, but to get to the second date, if you will. To walk away with both parties wanting to continue the conversation. In some conversations I have had, we did not arrive at a complete agreement or any agreement at all. But we did leave with a clearer and deeper understanding of the other. And I will admit, it was scary. The night before, I was up having those anxiety dreams, nervous. It's scary to reach out, to sit down and have these honest and difficult conversations. But at the end of each of them, I have always been grateful that I crossed the river, that I sat down and had a conversation face to face, that I confronted what I thought were monsters to discover that it was mostly in my mind. I found instead that I was sitting across from another human being who, just like me, was doing their best to figure out what is right and what is wrong in this traumatic and challenging moment. What we learn from Jacob is that when we cross the river, when we look into the eyes of the other, when we speak face to face and listen heart to heart, though the anticipation will be frightening and the conversation might be uncomfortable, perhaps even painful. But it is in that interaction, in that encounter, that we stop ourselves from making the other a monster and instead find the face of another human being created in the image of God. And hopefully, that is what they find in us as well. Shabbat Shalom.
I invite the congregation to rise as we continue with our concluding prayers with Aleinu L'Shabeach.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל עמונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא, ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
You may be seated. At this time, we take a moment to remember those who are no longer with us, those who influenced our lives and left their mark in our hearts, their lessons, their words in our minds. so that we could continue our lives honoring their memories. In our own community, in the period of Shloshim, those lost in the last 30 days, we remember Sadell Oberman-Farber, Muriel Feldman, Nancy Linderman-Felsher, Fran Lamdansky, Jay Parton, Rosalind Redbart, Colin Rotondo, Carl Dwayne Townsend, and Mitchell Zachary. And we remember the yard sites, the anniversary of the passing of Herschel Alpert, Sultana Arroyo, Joy Beal, Louise Bernstein, Chip Berry, Sina Binder, Oscar Birnbaum, Claire Boxt, Bob Burden, Samuel Bursick, Jack Searle, Seymour Speedy Feinstein, Sadie Silberman Finkelstein, Rowena Ann Fox, David Garfinkel, Rose Ginsburg, Jane Glazer, Lillian Gluckson, Helen Goldberg, Marjorie Hauser, Bruno Ilfelder, Jerome Itkoff, Phyllis Jackowitz, Harry Levinson, Max Levy, Jacob Levine, Joseph Levine, Edward Frank Levy, Jerome Lewis, Marlene Lustig, Tim Martin, Adolph Marks, Linwood A. Mayo, Morris Milner, Pauline Motes, David Nabow, Hannah Nabow, Martin Maxwell Nadelman, Bernard Ernest Newman, Gertrude Ornstein, Joe Pepper, Bernice Radbill, Dorothy Richardson, Molly Roseman, Florence Rosen, Mary Saul, Felix Schmears, Craig Brian Seidler, Barbara Shallant, Irv Sholin, Harvey Daniel Silton, Edward Silver, Maurice Simon, David Swavely Woolston, Irma Wurtzel Andelman. If you are with us this Shabbat as a guest and are remembering someone, I invite you to share their name out loud with our community. Zichronam Levarcha, may all of their memories be for a blessing. We rise as one community in solidarity with those who mourn to recite Kaddish Yatom in the Mourner's Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, ve'alma divrach urtev yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon uvyomechon uv'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael, ba'gala uv'izman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevarach le'alam u'almei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal shemei dekudsha b'richu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata. Tushbechata v'nechemata. Da'amiran me'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama Rabbah min shemaya. V'chayim alenu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, alenu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. You may be seated. I'd like to invite forward Dr. Derek Ragavan, a member of our Board of Directors, to share some announcements.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. The good news is I've been able to get the announcements down to 14 pages. Firstly, we hope that the executive directors from the temples from around the country have enjoyed our service. We have welcomed you into our group. I hope you realize this is a smaller community than we often have on Friday night, and of course many people are watching from home because it's raining so heavily. Hanukkah begins, as I hope you know, on December 7th, and we have many exciting events planned to celebrate. A quick list: on Wednesday, December 6th at 11 a.m., Spice welcomes Cantor Mary back for her program on light and hope in sound and story, followed by a Hanukkah-themed luncheon. That's free food, folks, so do come. Friday, December the 8th at 6 p.m., Hanukkah Shabbat Evening Service, followed by the congregational Hanukkah dinner at 7:30 p.m. Wednesday, December 13th at 6:30 p.m., the Brotherhood is having a Hanukkah dinner and candle lighting. And then Sunday, December 10th at 4:30, a porch Southern fried Hanukkah for our families with young kids. You can find information on all our Hanukkah events on our website. The Giving Tree is back. This year we're aiming to bring joy to 25 families from Sterling Elementary School for the holidays. The deadline for contributions is December 7th, and you can help in the following ways: shop from the comfort of your home and visit our Giving Tree Amazon wish list to select a gift. You can pick up a $40 Walmart gift card and send it to Beth Lewis. You can find links and addresses on the temple website and in our What's Happening email. Project Snowflake is partnering with The Roof Above to help make sure that their clients can have a warm holiday season and a Merry Christmas. There are 3 ways to help. You can serve breakfast on Christmas morning, meal prep beginning at 6 a.m., and service beginning at 7:30 a.m. If you can't serve on December 25th, but would like to prepare food in advance, breakfast casseroles can be dropped off ahead of time. If you're unable to cook, Costco gift cards are appreciated to assist with breakfast item expenses. Project Snowflake is also teaming up with Brotherhood to collect items to donate to A Roof Above and the Howard Levine Men's Shelter. The bin is ready and set up in the temple lobby here, and will be there from December 1st to the 14th to collect any of the following: new blankets, locks for lockers, new towels and washcloths, gently used or new winter coats. New winter coats being preferred. If you're interested in helping, please contact Merle Gottheim. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Thank you. And I'm just gonna add an addendum to one thing. It's not free food. It's food that you don't have to cook. Please do register for all of those meals so that we know you are coming. We would like to invite forward from NADA, our temple executive directors who are visiting, Peter Pishko, Karen Wizlowski, Maureen Chapman, Chip Schrager, and Danny Glassman to come forward and help us with motzi. They'll be continuing on to dinner, and we hope that others, we're just getting you started with the motzi so you can quick drive to your dinner, and you've already said the blessing. So please join us over here.
All right, who's going to dramatically take off the cover? Whoosh. All right, ready? Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen.
We invite everyone to join us in song, and then for challah after you sing.
Adon olam asher malach b'terem kol yitzir nivra me'ed nasa b'chefzo kol azal melech shemo nivra le'acharei kiflotakol levado imloch nora ve'hu haya ve'hu
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.